While most know Wilbur Soot's music for songs like I'm in Love with an E-Girl or Internet Ruined Me, many know that Wilbur also has an album called Your City Gave Me Asthma. While songs before the album were fun and entertaining, Wilbur's first album, Your City Gave Me Asthma, is more serious and touches important topics such as suicide, mental health issues, and problems with the government. While all his fans know the songs in the album, not many know the actual meaning behind them. So today, we are going to be looking at the true meaning of Your City Gave Me Asthma. This video was inspired by Polyphonic's video, The Story of Green Day's American Idiot. I will leave a link to it as well as a link to Wilbur's album in the description. The album starts off with a song called Jubilee Line. The start of the song talks about Wilbur starting to dislike London while living there. He says, quote, "Since moving there, I managed to get this horrid phlegmy cough for 2 years straight. Doctors confirmed it was pollution caused. Later on, I started to exhibit signs of asthma. Unfortunately, I've not managed to escape yet, but hopefully I shall sometime soon. Hopefully somewhere more sunny." This is also where the title of the album comes from.
Your city gave me asthma, so that's why I'm fucking leaving. And your water gave me cancer, and the pavement hurt my feelings.
Quote, "The song takes a rather dark turn at the end after experiencing people take their lives on the London Underground only to receive disgruntled groans by commuters who will now be late for whatever it is they're going to. One becomes quite jaded to the human condition in general. The Jubilee Line is a part of the London Underground transit system. Its 1999 extension features PEDs, platform edge doors.
There's a reason London puts barriers on the tube line. There's a reason London puts barriers on the rails."
Well, they were installed mainly to stop people from jumping onto the tracks as well as to help with the airflow. Wilbur disapproves of the idea, saying that instead of helping to solve people's mental issues, the government just partially removes one method of self-murder. Quote, "I guess this last line was me putting blame on the city rather than those commuters or the poor people who committed suicide."
There's a reason they fail.
Wilbur has explained on his streams before that he struggled with intense health anxiety for a very long time. Health anxiety meaning that he's constantly afraid that he's sick, dying, or suffering from some other medical issue he isn't aware of. The lyrics detail his constant grappling with these ideas, feeling crazy because part of him knows that he's fine while being unable to dismiss the plaguing fear that he's somehow slowly dying.
I think this time I'm dying. I'm not melodramatic, I'm just pragmatic beyond any reasoning for thinking I've got fucking rabies or something.
He's past the point of reasoning and instead has his mind set on some unlikely disease that may be plaguing him. Wilbur has stated in a Twitch interview that he's a hypochondriac, to the point where he has panic attacks and cannot sleep. He convinces himself that he's ill, mentally exaggerating the true nature of his symptoms like a mild headache. He wishes he could stop both thinking about the idea he might die and using his preferred substances to the point of intoxication.
If I could just wait one more night, maybe I could wake up and feel alright.
Due to his constant drinking and abuse of other substances, he wakes up in a hangover feeling dreadful. He's made his choice to fully victimize himself and reveal everything he feels. He admits that he's overreacting to the situation. The deceased playing part connects back to the first line, where he believes that he's going to die soon. He's faced all the reality and sees that he was wrong all along.
I think I've made my choice. I'm the deceased playing victim. Slip the face, slip the victory.
As another night passes, Wilbur still doesn't meet with his friends or go build a social life. Instead, once again sitting home and regretting the past and likely getting drunk.
I think I've made my choice. Sink secluded in hatred. Avoid the plans friends are making.
Saline Solution is salt mixed with water, often used to clean wounds or to restore normal blood levels after overdoses. It is treated as an all-encompassing solution as well, so he may be talking about finding a solution or a way to fix all his problems in one go. Additionally, salt water is used as a way to force regurgitation. It may be that Wilbur regrets intoxicating himself so much that he is either trying to make himself throw up, either to stop himself from feeling intoxicated all the time, or to prevent himself from dying, but it could also be in reference to his previously mentioned issues with painkillers. It's possible he's overdosed and is trying to fix it with a saline solution.
Saline solution. Saline solution to all your saline solution to all your saline solution to all your problems.
This song is about the singer feeling dejected and insecure in himself because he's a bad lover. He treated the girl he loved incredibly poorly despite how he feels for her and feels guilty because she ignored the warnings from her sister that he would hurt her. Previously, after his heart was broken, he was sure that there would be no more love for him. Now, after another broken relationship, he recognizes he was correct, but not because life was unfair, because he's a bad lover and won't allow himself to carry on. He loves those he knows, but can't help but eventually betraying them or befriending them with ulterior moves, which he realizes but cannot stop.
I thought I couldn't love anymore. Turns out I can't, but not for the same reasons as before. I use everyone I ever meet. I can't find the perfect match. Abuse those I love while I ostracize the ones who love me back.
He's crying because he hurts for his ex-girlfriend and feels like he doesn't deserve her or anyone for that matter. He thinks of the pain he caused and feels some of it himself through the regret of what he did.
On the path of least resistance, I find myself salting the earth every time that I miss you. I feel the way you hurt.
Wilbur somewhat worships his lover, believing that he's not good enough for her and that she's one of the greatest people he has ever met. He constantly convinces himself that he isn't enough. Wilbur has a small feeling that the pair may be as bad as each other, but mainly ignores it because he believes that he's the one in the wrong and she deserves the world.
And I don't deserve you, you deserve the world. Though it feels like we were built from the same dirt.
The sister of his lover warned her that she would only regret being with him, and now he insists that she is correct. She should not be with him. Wilbur is convinced that he will never be a good influence or lover to anyone and will always end up leaving someone behind to cry about him. He obsesses over himself and his flaws instead of trying to get better or focusing on improving himself as time goes by. He dwells on it while still failing to become a better person. Having acknowledged that he only ends up hurting those he loves, he insists that those who take the time to help or heal him, as in the end, they will either be abused or fail in the mission.
I hate to say it, but your sister was right. Don't trust English boys with far too much free time. I hate to say it, but your sister was right. I'm nothing but a problem, leave you crying overnight. And I hate to say it, but your sister was right. I can't focus on the future, only my short sight. I hate to say it, but your sister was right. I'm a wanker, complete wanker, a fucking waste of time.
Since I Saw Vienna is about Wilbur visiting different places, Vienna more specifically. His tendency to travel around symbolizes his inability to settle down. This is in reference to how Wilbur feels fluid in his personality. He wanders through life picking up different personality traits and finding different people to be with and learn from. This theme continues through the song, but it's put most explicit here.
I'm not a man of substance, and so I'll pretend to be a wanderer, wandering, leaving ascetic belongings in hostels and restaurant bins.
Yet again, the image of a continual hike is created. By putting down his roots when he's dead, he tells the listeners of his uncertainty that he will find whatever he is looking for, but will keep on searching until he inevitably dies.
I'll pick up my hiking boots when I am ready, and I'll put down my roots when I'm dead.
The upbeat intro provides a stark contrast to the darker tones of the rest of the song. Wilbur later states that he is heavily intoxicated while singing this song, and this call is likely explained by his desperate drunkenness. Throughout the album, Wilbur mentions how he abuses his friends and is never enough. Here he addresses it as less of a problem and more of a characteristic of him, as though they are used to his not responding and cutting them off.
Secondly, I know I haven't written much. You know the way I can be.
Quote, "My Twitch/YouTube profile picture is an edited photo of me 8 hours after being dumped by my first girlfriend, drinking at a Halloween party. I feel like it summed me up." To Wilbur, being drunk may feel like a part of his personality.
Tonight I'm fucking drunk, so it's all gonna be about me.
Wilbur doubts that he is good enough for anyone and believes the man his ex left him for is better in every way.
Is he better than me? Has he seen more to this life? Can he smoke more? Can he fuck more? Are you good enough to be his wife?
The singer is asking whether his ex's new boyfriend is physically stronger and therefore more masculine than him. Through this, he wonders whether this is why she left him. The second line is far more layered, however. One interpretation of it is Wilbur asking whether his ex's new boyfriend is physically abusive towards her, perhaps representing a hope that he was truly better for her. Another interpretation is that perhaps her new boyfriend could have a negative impact on her emotional state. Can he break her emotionally?
Can he break me? Can he break you?
He does not know life without her and cannot put her out of his mind, and thus feels meaningless and unsure of where his life will go without her in it.
Oh, I don't know what I'm to do. Yes, I don't know what I'll fucking do.
He sees a life of happiness ahead of him, but it is all ruined when she finds someone else. He says that she fell in love, implying that she was not already in love with him, and that the relationship was one-sided despite his love.
I've seen our cafe, I've clocked our plans. Oh, what could have been? You didn't go and fall in love and ruin everything.
Without his lover, he feels as there is no meaning to life, and he is unable to look ahead happily to the future, instead swallowed by dread and regret.
I've lost all meaning. I've lost my sense of home.
Wilbur writes short commanding lines to show he's trying to not care anymore. He's been humiliated, hence he's losing face. He's frustrated with the whole situation and has given up to the point that he'd rather her have intimate moments with him.
To touch him and break me, strip naked, embrace him, lose faith in his paces, stamina and grace, I'm losing faith.
The song is about a man who doesn't feel good enough and has distant dreams of leaving to start fresh somewhere different. Maybe one day he'll move on to live a more exciting life. He refuses to admit that he's lonely throughout the album, finally giving in and putting it out there that he really feels very alone. He's lonely and wants change, and therefore wants to move. He thinks of just how easy it would be to escape the life he knows, and later in the song his mind wanders to where he would go. Despite his attempts at putting himself first and improving his mental health, he can't seem to get better. Instead, he fails at this and falls back into his bad habits.
I could go away. I could pack my things and be gone before you wake. You know I've tried hard to love me too. It always seems to fall in through. La Jolla
Is a small seaside area in San Diego, California, known for its rugged coastline. Wilbur frequently mentions his love of America and his desire to both visit and live there. The reference to
La Jolla
is both a reference to this and the embodiment of the singer's hopes of finding a better place to be, as Wilbur probably hopefully thought of living in America, or really anywhere but London. Whilst living in London, a place he grew to hate.
Maybe one day I'll live in La Jolla, drinking cocktails out over the water. My own personal sunset.
He's having fun, having a good time, but still he's reminded of his old flame and thus forces himself not to pay attention to things that remind him of her. He forces himself not to think of where she could be and how he could get back to her.
In midnight backseat taxi jobs, I'm trying to ignore the skyline, so I don't figure out where you.
I'm Sorry Boris is about how even though the government is ruining London and is making him want to leave, the people he cares about are there and he doesn't want to leave them behind. This song represents how Boris Johnson, the current Prime Minister of UK and at that time the Mayor of London, and the current government in general will do anything before helping the actual population, including forcing people to pay for healthcare and driving them to suicide. The phrase, "burn down your towers," likely references the Grenfell Tower fire, an extremely severe residential fire in West London that has been widely attributed to government neglect.
But they'll knock down the pubs before helping you. They'll burn down the towers before helping you. They'll charge for your health care before helping you. They'll let you jump under trains before helping you.
The outro creates a different atmosphere to the rest of the song, before he shares his grown hatred for London and his reasons for why he longs to leave. However, even though he wishes he could run away, in this case to the south, he knows that London will always be a part of him. Because it meant so much to him, he feels unable to escape, no matter where he is. Due to the years of memories made, he's unable to fully move on. His lovers, colleagues, best friends, and even enemies are still there, even if he isn't. The last line embodies his reluctance for leaving. The thought of moving somewhere else could seem daunting and intimidating as he has grown so familiar to London.
And even I'm finished, I'm not quite done with it. No matter how far I run south, I'm always there. My lovers, my colleagues, my best friends and enemies. I don't think I want to leave you.
Thanks for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed and you understand the true meaning of this album now. I discovered a lot when doing research for this video, and I never could have imagined that the album is actually this dark. Also, remember...
Hey, so I know it's super unlikely, but sometimes YouTube glitches out and will unsubscribe you from random creators. Please quickly scroll down and check that you're still subscribed to me. It only takes a second and it'll be greatly appreciated. And also, if you weren't subscribed to me in the first place, I'm gonna steal your cat.